Eunice Akwaba.
Yeah.
Ima Akwaba.
Thank you very much.
May I share some free here? Because one of the key issues I got for all my friend now no pay live on Happy Morning Show. One of the key issues that they are talking about has got to do with landguardism. Here are the links. Ebinum say ahemfo no binom enim landguards ni binom. Nti omaye baako eno moton sase ne dem amanfo. Ebinum say obi wo ha akwakoje asase ne fra ahemfo ho and does not know how to even manage the land. Nti no nso akwakofa landguards ya ba because ensase ne so. I know say the new land act emra na ye de buy no. I did Juma as we speak now. One of the key highlights has got to do with how we deal with the issue of landguardism. Since the enforcement and as the implementation of this new land act, landguarding is them to say, is it still the same? BBS what seems to be the issue into me and dealing with the issue of landguardism?
Yo, eja better was BBA no pay and so. Say mama ya penya say yemra na ye nidi ensase ho enkomo said ya na ye nuanom a ye land economy for kanomo say land a valuable asset nti ye bo ho daru a ye mo ne ye mani panti ase nti ye de nkrato so free lands commission ye mpanyi ho ye CEO ye friend surveyor Benjamin Arthur onene deputies mienu omo say ye nka nche mo say omo da masepa say mo yusi mo fidie e de bossa ensase ho enkomo. Now the attorney say, na lands commission cry no, unim say nkrofo enim dwuma ye di. Ti me sira ma me just 60 seconds ma me nchire mo.
Me 2 minutes.
Aha. Ya ka lands commission no ye abanya dwuma emra 1992 constitution no e na so ya sene e de ye ba e ma ye tumi say yen hwen saase ho ensemsem ye registration e ba say ye ma valuation ana say yen survey insase. Any say ebien fa ne say president and I say oman panyi ana den e pa asase no e ho nsem nyina emra no e de adan yen say yen hwe ne yenye nti wo hwa ayo 4 main divisions a yaka bom e ma ye lands commission ankasa na yesa wo Ghana half na nyina all the regions ye adwuma ba ko bia ye wo all the regions nti ye wo survey and mapping division ye wo land valuation division and your public invested land management division and some your land registration division and say 4 main divisions
Land
valuation
land valuation baako
yes your survey and mapping division
survey and mapping mienu
and your public invested land management division
miensa
and your land registration division
the Ghana for bebre no anim
ayo
land registration division
sa yentumi ba ko pa kese no edwuma ba ko aye wo Ghana ha pa registration of title sa inti sa 4 divisions ye kabom ene edi dwuma wo lands commission obia wo dwuma odie yesi yenko surveyor asase masase ne da ha ko susuma me surveyor si adwuma no ena sa omampanyi pensase de ya bibi ye ne edi anim kan se yenko akwa lands ema institutions bi ene ade yen lands commission ene edi anim kan ko se values enso wo ho obetimi akosusu asase natural asase eda ashalaja ye ton say value eda so nie ye ko the current market value say na obenya no enti demolition amoko ye say ni say asase amoko akwa compulsorily say ene be cost oman panyi ana so man no say mo betwa man krofa amoko je asase
every woman China
and divisions we nyina na say ye ka title certificate no division e friend land registration no omo na wa go through all the processes na wie no omo de sa title no ahye wonsem ama omu ayodu se asase ya fe de otimi do nsase ubo kase
media
ai na onim empempi no ewo ye mam ha Ghana no bebre no nim ye dwumade enti no oboabo ne sika no kakra wie na so pa asase ata onia onya daje enye ade ye frɛ ne due diligence oye nhwehwem ti se me koto car me nim car ho hwe me fa mechanic se yenko fi car no me yenhwe se engine no etiapo ana se munuama nyina da yie ba onim se edru asase to wo Ghana ha me nua yenya daje nhwehwem eno ane sama ka cho se ye media no eda yie a open de waso asisi he mo bi ntufu se sen asa edru sa time na ya de edru account akoma siw so wo pesika kotwa asase ne dendende de ya kran so bon asase wi a wa sha ase na ofrew sister you betua o na nkrofo aba ho wa metua asase ne beko o ho prew se okotwa ba onim asase said me boss Sabeya Jones oforibo adu beka akyerɛw yɛntɔ ne sɛ toes asase yɛntɔ ne sɛ toes o asase yɛtumi di 1 month esi yɛni so sɛ meyɛ hwehwɛmu aba asase wei ansa na mede kakra mpo akɔto aseɛ enti meka de akosi land guard sɛm no so nea ama ne ɛkɔ so sesei no bebre na tɔn asase a therefore wɔn nya adagye nyɛ hwehwɛmu sɛ yɛ aban asase sɛ yɛ akonya bi deɛ sɛ yɛ family bi deɛ sɛ yɛ abusua ekokuo bi asase daa bi ɔno deɛ sɛ asase ne da hɔ sɛ ɔpɛ ne deɛ ɔboa ɔnya adagye ɛnyɛ hwehwɛmu no akɔtua ka onya akɔtua ka wie a afei wakɔ asase ne so kɔtwa blocks na wa start foundation no na yɛ anoma ba sɛ he hwan na ma otumi wɔ asase yi so wɔ ha na langat no ɛɛba mu na emom sɛ nka wonya adagye ɛberɛ a wohu asase no wie yɛ wonya adagye ɛfrɛ Sofia ɔmo susu asase sɛ wonia mehu asase bi da ha m'ani gye ho mepɛ sɛ wokɔ na wokɔ susu asase no ma me na wo produce what we call a site plan ɛde ma me na mede m'ani kyerɛ lands commission ɔmo na yɛ custodians of land records in the country o asase bi ho nkɔmmɔdie nhwehwɛmu a lands commission yɛyɛ no
nti nsase ho ntwerɛ to ho nsɛm nyinaa no wɔ lands commission
lands commission yɛne aban adwuma pɛ a yɛkura records information enti nka site plan no surveyor no professional land surveyor what prepare o site plan ama wawie no the next step ne sɛ nka wo to mika akɔ lands commission akɔ yɛ nhwehwɛmu wo yɛ nhwehwɛmu wie a ɛyɛbɛtumi aka kyerɛ asase na wo saa wo pɛ sɛ ɔtɔ no ɛyɛ aban asase a ɛyɛ stool we dia ɛyɛ Kwate family dia ɛyɛ Unisopoku family dia ana ɛyɛ individual bi asase na emu bia no ba yɛ process sɛ ɔsɛ ɔfa so sɛ yɛ stool land a ɛyɛ concurrence ɛwɔ sɛ ahemfo no edi kan prepare document de ma wo ɛhwehwɛm na yɛ so yɛ concur lands commission for gitum sɛ agreement a wo ne ahemfo yi ɛkɔ yi ne kwan so ano no wayɛ nhwehwɛmu awie hu sɛ ɔhene wei na ɛwɔ sɛ ɔsan ma wo na wakɔ sign wo document ne wɔ hɔ ansa na wo de aba ama yɛn so yɛagye atom sɛ enie ansa po na wa start title registration process but this step na yɛ mese no ɛno na de akɔdu landguardism sɛm yi enti ɛna mmara no kra ɛka sɛ wo sɔ nipa ase de ne kogu asase no so na wo prevent obi ɔno ɛwɔ tumi wɔ asase no so no okura nkrata papa bi ɛwɔ asase no so ɛyɛ ne deɛ bibia kyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ ne deɛ wosi ne kwan sɛ ɔma ne nkɔ asase so mmara no section 12 of the land act no land act act 1036 act 2020 hɔ no ɛkyerɛ wo sɛ ɛwɔ sɛ mmara kwan so no yɛtumi ɛkyɛ wo tum nti lands commission sɛ
yɛtumi wɔn a bɛhyɛ amanfo kutupa aduama kɔ akɔgu nsase bi so a ebia onyana na asase no kuta ɛho nkrataa na emum umma na kwanyama ne ntimi enya asase no fa ne dwuma na wo sɛ ɛkyew ɛnyɛ onyana wɔ ebia wasesa nipa na kɔso ɛnyɛ ɔmo wɔ asase no wo na wo gyina so no ɛsesa amanfo de ɔmo akɔ na wo sɛ ɛkyew
ɛna wo a ɔhyɛ ne kutupan yɛ on sɛ langat na ɔmo masters o nti ne master kro na ɔno ahyɛ ne kutupan ɛde na kɔ gyina so ɔmo ani sika sɛ hɛ chale go do shege kɔyɛ ɔmo shege mame twetwe nkrantɛ na ɛkɔhwehwehwɛ ɔmo na ɔmo nwane fi saase no so no ɛwɔ sɛ emra no ɛne wodi na wo so a gyina so yɛ saa kyew ɛde wo ka ho nti lands commission yɛ ni the law enforcement agency na yɛ friend yɛ Ghana police no ɛdi nsawɔso kɛseɛ a ɛnkyɛ bia yɛ no mo behyia akyerɛ mo saa act we ni mu yie kwan a also fa so prosecute such people ni edu ɔmo kɔ ni ɔmo hu sɛ emra ba o a wo yɛkyew a emranteɛ na yɛkɔse sɛ ɔmo de ɔmo kogu nkrɔfoɔ nsa ase so
kantinka emranteɛ ɔmo kura abatiri
na de ɔmo kɔtete nkrɔfoɔ obi atɔ asase so ɛnɛ me yɛka sɛ ɔda ɔna okɔgyina so ne yɛde nkrantɛ di n'akyi emra no ɛmma ɔkwan sɛ di sɛ adwuma no more especially sɛ nipa na wakɔgyina na asase so ɔwɔ bibi a kyerɛ sɛ ɔno na the rightful owner deɛ a emra no bɛdi yɛdo bɛtom o bɛtumi ada mɛ 15 years
mamanfoɔ binom so ɛbɔ aposifoɔ binom so boɔ allegedly sɛ wɔn ne some of these landguards na ɛkɔ nakra na
ɛno nti ne yɛpɛ sɛ yɛ no ɔmo edi nsawɔsoɔ kɛseɛ kyerɛ ɔmo wonim sɛ policefoɔ no ɛtɔ da bi a asɛm yɛde kɔdan ɔmo a ɔmo no on the face of the document ade aba no ɔmo akora tumi bu asɛm no wɔ hɔ sɛ na akora no wohwɛ data ɛwɔ na ayi so a onya na asase gya nti wobɛhwɛ ne ɛnyɛ no korɛ sɛbio ebia they may not have the technical eyes to read what is even there and interpret it well to them but then they will sit there and judge na ɔmo na kyerɛ sɛ da bia na wo no asase na nsi so bio ɛno na wanhwɛ yɛ abɛka sɛ ɔmo na ɔmo akɔyɛ baako no ɔmo adwen mu no document a wo fabra wo claim say wona asase no dia wo so fa dia bra e ho na ma hwe o timi hwe side plan kra so che say we nya ne side plan ne ba ko ja unte we die no no ebu asem no na bia wo na nka wo ne the rightful owner eno nti na police ye be hwe wo mu den and that collaboration ye be strengthen ama omahu near e wo so mo ye when it comes to these land guard issues because se omo na ensua e be ha adwene aha omo be ye niam e bia na anko yie aha nti aba land guard sem no de e hye ase free baby na eba na e wo mu so say ebi susu betimi ni omo aka abo mu adidwuma ne bebre send e nipa aha enti last commission no sa emra ya abayi no yen ye pese ye ne omo etna se yie na sa nkomo ne yedi ne yie e ma omo hunu omo tumi e kro omo under this act no no matimi ayeden abomode enforce emra na amamra na ye adwuma enti na the rule ni say wow be ma ho kwan no you careful because they say no one hwe ya chi watum ya be do be court ni edi wasem ni edi wakotwim be 15 years and 10 years now twim because you land guard yes enti I say obi ama na ni da o so obi wo wati kokogina so ma me nakotwe nkrante hwem na se police nya bam ni etimi establish say akwa we na sasia na ade na o prevent no emra no ebenyanti me nua zumega a o land officer no so de bi soso ama wate nkomo nani eso yi
Orazmega ewa ha Orazmega be poto ono be kambrofo o kambrofo a na yenyanto boase ne de aba eye twimu so it's quite clear quite obvious say emra no e kasetia land guardism na moncha dodo is emra by you 2020 if you be 9 years what are positive for
yeah nam da say ebomu da royal meeting traditional authorities share serious stakeholders bi also share omo ni omo di nkomo police di esu eguso ene omo di ensa woso kese say be ya mo so bete nyama nani so enti traditional authorities ni share bebre in fact National House of Chiefs share won share most of the traditional councils what is in the law no mo so am ya abreast because omo no manage lands for a very long time and almost so nimde but say mrana de bibi kakra aba also omo so hwe no omo eye etoto omo niam ayi no omo so ankonya amane na nka wo kra wo ne hwan obeka kra ohini bi so mebu akonta wo ne nsase ho but na mrana hwe omo so omo mu hu akonta entre wo mo manfo say asase we ye de ma asem so omo fancy school say ni say 10 acres e kan wa hai ye de yes bu akonta because wo no wo hwe so
you are the custodian of the land
anti fiduciary role na omo e play no ni nyina wo act nim ama abema amanfo no so tumi kakra bi nti amahemfo no so ye say bie ne amani so eye den the last commission for a very long time since 2020 no we have had series of sensitization activities making sure that all these stakeholders are well versed in these areas
but ode maminya o na menko Orazmega ewa ha what more would you like to add on the issue of land guardism?
Okay, so I think like she was trying to say, the law was passed in 2020. The enforcement of this law is with the Ghana Police Service, and anybody who has land which he rightfully acquires can take a person who is purported to be a land guard to court. Now, anybody who trespasses on your land, you can take the person to court. Mind you, this law has been passed in 2020. I think that a lot more Ghanaians needs to be assertive and test the law. The burden should not only be left on the doorsteps of the Lands Commission. I think the issue of the land guardism is a very, very crazy thing because it really doesn't make a lot of sense. And it has emerged in a lot of areas that the land guardism is rather going on the increase. Where they have finished selling the land, they move it to a different dimension. I hear somewhere in our beautiful town of Kaswa, it has turned to painting fee. So now, if you finish building your house, because a lot of the land is finished, if you are coming to paint to move in, they have to take painting fee. Land guard too. Then after that, they will come to you that they want moving fee. I mean, a land that you properly acquired by yourself, paid for, went into the assembly to get building permit, and you have finished building. And a lot of Ghanaians allow these things to be tolerated. we sometimes encourage this land gas. So the point I am making is that we need to be a little bit more assertive in preventing this menace of landguardism. Let us not only push the burden to Lands Commission, that it is only the Lands Commission that can stop the landguardism.
So you,
All
the owner,
stakeholders.
you, the rightful owner of the land,
Yes.
has a responsibility.
You have the ultimate responsibility because the land is for you. You, the rightful owner, has the ultimate responsibility to assert your rights by reporting to the police station and going to court to enforce your rights.
This is a research finding published in the Journal of Humanities and Social Studies, Social Sciences Studies.
Yes.
And it's titled Challenges and Perceptions of Land Acquisition in Accra, specifically Ghana, Finding Ways to Make It Safer. These are the authors: Gideon Apiakusi, Fienena, Lucette Adori, Emmanuel Owusu-Afriye, and Guan Huifu. Now, if you happen to go into the research, one of the findings, another some of the findings with perception on land acquisition, they mentioned this: cost involved and institutional bureaucratic issues. Now they are talking about weak policy implementation, delays in processing land documents at the Lands Commission, and extortion of monies by some land commission officers from clients. Where are some of the findings? Respondents didn't come, or some of the responses that they had. I am restricting this question to the delays in land registration because Ghana what they said buttresses the findings are. There seems to be issues with land registration. Why is that the case?
Okay, so the issue with land registration leading to bureaucracy and delays stems from the fact that the acquisition process by a lot of Ghanaians is wrong. How you acquire your land influences how your land is registered for you. Now, let's take it a little bit. First of all, if you want to acquire land, you would have to ask yourself, who is acquiring the land? Is a person an individual? Is a person a company? Or is a state organization? Who is acquiring the land? Now, what are you going to use the land you are going to acquire for? You have to ask yourself those questions. Are you going to use it for private use? Is it for business? Or is it for public interest? Now, which type of interest are you acquiring in this land? And who are you acquiring the land from? Are you acquiring from a private individual? Is it from a stool? Is it from a clan? Or is it from government? If the land belongs to an individual, and you go and acquire that land from a stool or a scheme, how can we register that land for you? Basically, what I'm saying is that the capacity of the person who sold the land to you, as long as it is questionable, the registration process will delay. And if you come to Lands Commission and you meet a security man, you give the security man money, it will never get registered. So you would go out with the perception that if you come to Lands Commission, the processes are long, there's bureaucracy. I'm saying very clearly here, how you acquire the land matters as to how the registration process goes. Yes.
And that's the
Yes.
Yes. Ɔkyerɛ sɛ wo asase tɔfoɔ no. Kwan a wofa so tɔ w'asase no. Sɛ woka kwan a Lands Commission yɛ twentwɛn so a ma nneɛma kyɛ ɛwɔ
Yes,
hɔ.
yes.
Ɛna ɔkyerɛ akɔsi sɛ ɛkwan a na nkurɔfoɔ fa so tɔ mo asase no. Ɛno ɛka ho bi na ɛma ɔmo registration so ɛyɛ dɛn ɛkyɛ. Even though Lands Commission you are operating in a manual environment for a very long time. Yɛgu so a yɛ digitize yɛn manual records. Nibi, eno de yɛn mpanyinfoɔ ani abre paa saa agenda ne de ɔmo pushi. Na mmom no, kwan a wofa so tɔ, ɔsɛ sɛ ɛyɛ wo ankrankra na wotɔ w'asase o. Sɛ ɛyɛ adwuma bi ɛna ɛtɔ asase no. Na wɔtɔ no, wɔtɔ sɛ wɔde besi dan a ɔno bɛtenam, ana ɔde si stores, ana sɛ ɔde yɛ market, ana ɔde yɛ asɔre. Enti kwan a yɛfa so tɔ no, ɛne yɛtiri mu po a ɛwɔ asase tɔ no emu. Because o tɔ asase ɛde aba bɛyɛ stores a ɛwɔ sɛ ne processes ne nkrataa a wobɛhia ɛne adeɛ no nso so ohwɛm. Eyie. Na asase no mpo sɛ wotɔ na ɛyɛ government asase a kwan bɛn na wofa so atɔ no. Asase a yɛatwerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ state land na obi ɛte nungua na ɔno no ɛde ne din ato so ɛmma wo asase no nkrataa tumi bɛn na ɔwɔ. Asase a yɛsɛ ɛyɛ state land. aban asase na an individual ɛnyɛ sɛ ɔno agye ne lease bi free government hɔ ɛna ɔpɛ sɛ ɛno mbɔ no ɔbaa bɛgye consent from aban which is the lands commission enti no kwan a yɛfa so tɔ no no ɛyɛ critical sɛ sɛ no mpɛ sɛ nneɛma bɛkyɛ ɔlands commissioner sɛ sɛ no yɛn nso yɛde nneɛma bebree gugu akwan mu a yɛgye tom sɛ yɛnyaanya wɔ kwan so when it comes to registration all because ansa na yɛbɛ issue title certificate no boss processes ɛwɔ sɛ yɛn ankasa yɛfa mu internally ne yɛde ama ɔna no ɛden because yɛamfa kwan pa so ama certificate a ɛbɛtumi de ewusɛm aba mobɛtwe ma nso akɔtwetwe nkrantɛ akɔku nkumu ho na ne nyinaa because lands commission anyɛ n'adwuma yie because yɛn nso so yɛyɛ internal due diligence o ɛyɛ sɛ wode document ne baayɛ because wona wadi kan de aba anaa ɛhɔ yɛ free mponti no na yɛdi kan kiki ne issue title dabi ɛyɛ first registration asase mpo a obiara nkɔ ho da obiara register da yɛfrɛ no first registration for lands commission no processes a yɛfa mu a ɛba site koraa bɛyɛ visit ne yɛhwɛ officers ba bɛyɛ report de ma yɛn ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛkɔɔyɛ no okay dan yɛtoa no so te sɛ asase yɛtoa no so te sɛ yɛkɔbusaa sɛ hwan nie no yɛnso yɛba o ɛbɛkɔhwehwɛ ne nyinaa to make sure sɛ certificate a yɛde ma unisopoku wei no ɛho mma asɛm ɔkyena ɛnkɔfa abusuama nso mma ɛnkɔma ɔkyena wei na asase akɔde medie mu ne yɛtwe ma nso ne yɛkɔ court ne yɛtwitwa yɛn ho nsekan ne yɛdɛdɛ bi nti before we issue a certificate there are a number of processes we need to go through and yɛn no yɛwɔ sɛ satisfy yɛn ho sɛ afei deɛ akwa wei yɛma ne certificate ɛno ano no ɔdi sɛ yɛma ne title certificate ɛwɔ asase wei so because we are go through all the processes ɛna yɛn nso yɛahwehwɛ mu ama yɛakoma atɔ yɛ yam ama lawyer atena se read the history of the land where you got that power from when you trace the root of title and so now we issue a certificate so we understand and we admit say some of our processes may be very bureaucratic but it is in the ne sa se de be ya ochna obi sorry mekuntia o certificate crowd and now obi no metweman so after you've gone through all these processes said the empanyufo no can say certificate ne indefeasible obi ntimi sorry keke nkotwa certificate mu there be age court ebia ofa kwanbone bi so and out ma fake documents bi di bri ani so eme ye ko issue certificate e de ma o eno no hwehwemu e da di pefe say kwan afa so akwa o certificate enye kwampa court to be ma order say muntwam na ye twam enti one the manual environment aye adwuma wo mu no ka ho bi na e meche na two kwan afa so to wasase no wan to no kwampa so ade ba queries you bet me raise queries from day one go see the middle of the process na asase no baby awoje afi no kra no ene ekofa headlist bra ene ekofa we bra as a proof of ayi ene ekofa we bra ni nyina it is to ensure say yen ma wa yeso ye ho nkonkokere yen nti say yan go through all these processes ama ye ni an na ho ni e kode koma zumega na ochena saa asase no enye zumega na e wo say ma na certificate ho a lands commission ye twi abo so ni ye de ye court da ye court o
and come back with I think there was a bit of statistics. I'll come there, but under normal circumstance, how long here to finish with the process of registering your land?
Sir, a year.
So you're say all things
registration.
Being say all things being equal. Number one, a first registration, and as a number two, a genuine documents now there, but be okay. How long usually will it take?
How long?
We have a SOP, Standard Operating Procedures. I think if you look at our Standard Operating Procedures, for first registration, a document that doesn't have any challenge should take 90 working days.
3 months?
Yes. In fact, even the Vice President recently said that because of the digitalization that we are trying to do at the Lands Commission, we are bringing that to 30 days. So if you bring a document that doesn't have any query, that went to the right processes, it should not be more than 90 days for it to be registered.
So, Odeba nonsense.
Say, I don't know, maybe can actually say, I know there's some one. And yes, I am proud. Yeah, Bibia, yeah, better work out or not heard BBA. Bema. Abra ya truck ata say, oh, you be here BB to support only my dear band because you have the money. You better truck ata, Mr. Kratan ma because Udia come Goro man. Goro man, no, you're trolling letter, no, no, baby. Address crowd used to cry a fake address. Yeah, then you get it to you. Some of the delays no one seven American no. Because any wo details near you should dia fill form and I dia to enti ye pewo say oh provide us with enyama we a unia ya cho krata enko ye frewa enko enti say no lands commission here bibi fi ho ye pese ye hu say kwan be ne yemfa so enricho say oh eye eja adu ye be hia bibi say nkofo no ma document bibi kakra omo ncho bibi fa ma me hu say ayampa say ye pese ye trace ya ko hu the root to me now when ya wode ba say ma certificate ni efri he eto bia ya adwemu point ni your certificate signature ya adwemu ntin because ye hwe yen record ni mu a e bia signature bia wo say e ko document ni so wo dia de ba ye different afei ni ye hwehwem e wa akire hwehwem ko so ye wo mpanyimfo a ombenya adagye di akira ye frɛ wa yen sanka ye kasa fa webre ya onfa ma ha no be say entire process stalls ni ejina ho twen wo now so to ho now on come out nyina ni lands commission is slow hey go forward there 3 years no more the year document ho adwuma 4 years obi se me the 5 years ye gitum say a top da bia ye slow because ye nyanko fully digital and so you should expect some of these things akwanya ana aba ma say no ye ni abre a ye digitize all our manual records a enche dem assault he tatata obetima your registration ebi ni ye dia sha ase a edi no search say call online portal onlineservices.lc.gov.gh opa aya try ye copy bohwe what site planner yanko ho na yan guide as to how you can do it ube hu say papa ni acknowledge ni a tell say okay we will get back to you ube hu say aya o search we na ya tell say report ready na lands commission na sa na yete tete lands commission ani mu say esesa
me sa trouble
what to fear what mi scan plan say na only edin sa so wo dem na ya search amount on ko hwe goro boy bia enti delays ne de o ka ho bi me ka ho bi e na ye nyina ma ye che e wo system
the turns as ni ye delays ne ma
o to ni na wo are so document ade aba nyina krojin bibia ye so ye search ye so only say ye internal searches ye search 3 divisions I was say you're finding out from land titles then land registration ho then you're finding out from survey and mapping obi plot ho near finding out from PVLMD so he be din show family be din and then a show and now say government there state land and and after you have conducted your searches before starting this process so the bedan when we receive your document and then we start the registration process we ensure that we've also conducted our internal searches 3 divisions now will furnish the officers with the reports near person who say favorable ade ya sha se be go through and go to immediately we see a trust say document ade aba no ene onua kohamom na koje document sometimes here yetimi ka trom say kohwehwe asemasi because ono
ena ye eda asase
it's a nkofo 10 year adwumadie na se yi a eboa omo ena yeso so yetimo ase eno ntina say ye ni abre for instance ye Greater Accra Regional Lands Officer Surveyor Timothy Anidowu waso adwumadie na se dendenden a opia yan sensitization ene twina se pa ye de na ekoha ne de ni raha na o church asesemu after sometimes we meet groups bia wa kire mo asesemu ni so say yeah lands commission what na se ache na we mu nyina onim say ye nim ene o ye doctor o se o na ye hwan o be hu se o mu nyina se gomuti e wo mu say atena se ache but say the lands commission ye ya sesa o ye ko institution bia ye ko sensitization ye boy ye din say if you say lands commission da be na mo starting say mo yes how dey we mo say o mu hu bi da ye wie ye tena se problems mo ba ntema nka ma anyemfom so enu nti ye wra Surveyor Timothy Anidowu Esquire de mesra mo hia na ba bia mo kan kire ne say ye danasio na nkrofo so send message say papa ne fa ne bro ye koye ye a eja ye boss deputy executive secretary corporate services Surveyor Jones Oferibuadu wa pian o se monko o ma bie kwan atoma ma say de monko say outreach programs ni ye ko mo ha ma so bi mutimi frɛ yan market center mutimi frɛ yan business associations mo frɛ yan ni aba ni ene mo be din komo because that conversation also be at ase.
Yes, there are a couple of questions I'm for Ediaba, but Mambi sa when you get people's questions that they've sent in. Maybe Sanina said ya I know you be or I'm with me na ansania sorry media so. But Kwabena Minta any festival golden boating. One more etro article be on Ghana's lands acquisition process. Obviously it generates conflict. They were trying to attempt say we'll use blockchain in a land acquisition and land registration. But main can't the solution. I'm talking about one of the issues that they identified,
Okay.
which happens to do with the cost involved in the registration.
No.
That is saying,
If we
My
say
mom
cost,
come to a BA.
Mhm.
What him say? Lands Commission, yen fees and charges no, statutory, parliament and a pass.
Mhm.
Enti ye mo yesire mu e mobo.
Mm.
Unim say, for instance, say who register one plot of land ewa Accra ha without stamp duty, which is the VAT you pay on the property no.
Mhm.
Sabio impredias sa wani mu a emro 1,005. Oh yeah, where?
what's it?
Ah yo. Say ena maybe yes wa kire onne no. Enu 1,005 say wo usimu balance commission Baba deal with us directly. Say maybe register masase. Me twa me stamp duty awie. One plot ni me sremo. Mo register mami a. Me generate bill amount. O me generate bill amount na bill no. Me no eni nchia. Enu 2,000 and more 1,500. And yen fees and charges no. So wo balance commissioner ni delete directly a order of way. Enye hu said your own nim no na mom mami nchao. Eya na ye pe de bia mami fanko si obi so. Mami nko hu goro boy bi. Mami hu asem say onim say akrofo timi to anamona when they get to the compound. Obe Ryan CSAU, which is more or less like the customer service center. Our do documents beba ni agye ni ahye adwumadi na asema no. Ba bia wadru na obe ra edan mu ho no. Na obi ahia no dan na no na say, "Hey, obe registration mami mo awo." Aha, o de koto system no impie da o. Jack, mami mo awo. O sa, "Hey, and the obo me abegye me say mami 8,000." Now nim say Ghana ni watiti ni mo remo service ka no. No de na one corner, no akoma 8,000 na making. Or the document ni man we had himself obe frefre na afi on fan calls for you. Wo nim ni ba bia o obehia ni yen compound no so. Te say oya staff there be but so mo rem. Na wo call where your officers are training omo. Ete ho geo document, access document no. Ni a generate bill the amawa. Boss, enu 1,700. Enu one plot registration without stamp duty. Enu yen fees and charges. Ya sha see cry see de gugu. Yen social media platforms na microphone hwe bi. Enti se wo utu anamon se wo pe goro boy there be ready for your 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 because also mind you, na dwuma oya no. Wo si unya adaje me follow ups. Unya adaje mo nraye office one ye medin sa so directly. So you want the middleman to help you. So whatever figure he mentions no, no. Ni figure no are taking into consideration the official fees. And no then they are so.
Or the margins account.
Then sasa no ye adwuma no.
You, young comrade, there are a lot of questions. Orazumeka. Who's the Henry 2,000 Ghana cedis?
Oh, Jack, you are submitting me for wedding in now.
but the point has to be made. There's tax to be paid on the land, which happens at the land valuation division. That is the tax to government on the ownership of the property. It could be depending whether it's a lease, whether it's an assignment, depending upon the location of the land, the size of the land. It could be 0.01% up to 1% of the value of the land. So what she's talking about is the official fee
for registration. That's what I'm talking
without
about.
your tax.
Without my tax.
Because
Yes,
what
she's-
tax no.
without a doubt, she's correct.
Asase bia baby eda any value eda so. Also all percentage be from 0 to 1 be. So asase ne da shalaja. Over ta betwa also no any the airport any
Of course.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
I know
Because
the
the value will not be the same.
Exactly.
But for the registration, what she's saying is absolutely correct.
Alright, Mega, young comrade. Happy 98.9 FM now. So, and I know, say, Ghana for Muti and pay. Yes, you and be brave. More questions now, Modia, but Mebusa. But yes, Musa say young fan say, Assassinwa, a year make quacotono. Say, any lands commission, a record more, a day, and also me.
Okay. Also earlier now you didn't come on here say obet me about by search. Your search a bit me actually say no recorded transaction. Let's just say you ni ho enkomobia in our records. Enti eba ne sa na ene de say bia ona wa kwa first time buyer from the nipa no onfa mo bia on to na mo ma me ho lands commission ho me registration. And it is for you to go the extra mile to do some neighborhood checks to ensure say problems bia anyhow because our records may be clean and may suggest say shini ho yeah ho you clean but on ground one na issues wo ho into wo no e be che say wo de your own so neighborhood checks na hwehwemu yie na hwɛ because yɛ hɔ de obi ama register ne interest obi amfa ne din mɛda so obi amba line no so yɛ note for obi sometimes you better say a noted proposal na then hwɛ ni hɔ ba yɛatwerɛw officially say hwɛ ni so nti wo so no kwa asase no so busabusa mu yie na yɛ sure say you are just dealing with the right person once you are able to establish that the documents tafapra you better register am.
Okay.
And in that case, we request for boundary plan of the person who is selling the land to you. So if you are buying from stool A must have been having boundaries with some other stools in the area. So the Lands Commission will request of you, that person, to impress on your grantors to give you the extent of their land, so that you submit to the Lands Commission a boundary plan, which we can now keep in our record, so that future applications from you would be recognized within that territory.
So if I say me na me di kan na me kwa akota asase no wo ho a o say me na me hwɛ say that boundary plan no ma gi e dia bre
yes, so we'll write a letter.
Asase wura no.
Yes, we'll write a letter.
The boundary plan
Edema me na me dia bre mo.
Yes. Officially.
Okay.
Say here a boundary plan from the grantor.
Okay.
Your ma wasase no. Oma a boundary plan. Ye hu ehye no so ye. Say free ha kosi ha. Eye ono ne dia.
Okay.
Free ha kosi ha because you are the first time person a wo ba no. Say be ya subsequently so bi so ba ye be hu say aha ateko akaha or happy
okay.
2 minutes ha.
Okay.
Nti ontimi nkọ ekire enkosi obi die mu start so oton.
And this will be done in consultation with other persons that own land in that particular jurisdiction.
Nti je say enye men ono nko ne plan no na ye di bedi djuma omo ben no so je be ji aka
so be ya na akọ yi wo nko a de ma no 100 by 70 to 70 by
70 ni 80 by
yakoyi no nko na de udi ato so
be quite the question by
yeah how you clean yeah ni records bia fa asase a wo de aba no nti yes ye ne fa boundary plan from wo ura otumi ura na ma o papers no on my boundary plan ye hu ne hye no be ekosi ye ni keep it in our records so that be ya ochine bi nso no obi ba ye be hu se asemesi abeyi hakọ e ho no udi nhye ho nti de akani ontimi nko beyond the boundaries what I say
0551563916 0555657278 obi bisa say asase no de hin na mo register half plot and say full plot and I'm register that's a big question but 0551563916 0555657278 and numbers are between my friend Robert Jumedi so quickly before Azana you be call your callers in hono asase no dey na register because I heard somewhere say asase no a half plot am register it's a full plot and I'm register.
It depends on the extent of your land. So if you bring a land that a site plan can be prepared upon, so we look at the extent of the land. It could be, we are more in the area of acreages. So whether it's what you might call a half plot might not necessarily be a half plot. What you might call a full plot might not necessarily be a full plot. Because in the past, a full plot used to be 100 by 100. Now a full plot is maybe 100 by 70 or 100 by 90.
Yes, some places 70 by 70.
So to the extent that a surveyor can go to the site to capture the spatial data of the land on the ground, and the person who is selling to you have capacity, and there's interest registrable in that land, we will be able to register it for you.
So
if found in the draw, since a surveyor, Sophia, Land Sophia, no bet me ako, no ako susu say, Papa Tria near the amount, what me ako yi, atocrata, so the amount in there, registrable.
And no.
Until
they quota crime found.
Oh, now they say bit me be register be to where be quota half quota ya satem too. I don't know the sika son here, and also not to me, assassin was all the mouth. No, the amount, the one are the mouth. Ye hono sanity, dear war and our dema. Until you cannot give what you don't have. So assassin in a 0.32. Also so per more than that. And you're possible, and you better say no. The person registering the emfa.
Okay, I think that this question has been answered. Muana margin Montanta say assassin, a so-called Lands Commissioner, and yadia a son one plot. You register at the Mawono. I think the question has been answered. 0551563916 0555657278 2 numbers. Wait me afre. Ura Emmanuel Zumega, a Lands Officer, Lands Commission, Eunice Opoku, Senior Public Affairs Officer, Lands Commission. Mpenyifo mienu wa ha. Wasem bisebia wo won sase ho, Wama bay. Because woman no want to faku. Wama ba ene. Yebenyom last year Tony nyawom. Last year Tony nyawom. Wama ba nei. Yebenyom him I just say next year. Because someone tina faku mu chin de entretre ni adisuan magana fo nyina se de be ya ebetimi ehunu emuye ye koto ye nsase a nti wo asembisa bi a bisa menim se binom efrɛ ansa no mo etena se sanse misa nyina yem se yi ano deda wo asembisa foforo bi a wo hɔ a obetimi afrɛ da wo bisa 0551 563 916 and 0555 657 278 numbers abetimi afrɛ na waba oba tew question ba go pɛ ene wo se obisa na just no na ye di ho anu ye no the amount 0551 563 916 0555 657 278 I mean fa call away na me say hello good morning we need be afrefi hello we need be afrefi o jina so ontimi nkasa we dey facha me obetimi asa free 0551 563 916 0555 657 278 mame nko questions a ebinom edi asoma ba personally no mame nko eno so mabusa ye registration hu sikasem mabusa emre dodo a di ansa na registration no mawie ni nyina na question another question assigned by Bill has got to do with more digitalization, but MZ also they can't know that. So I think that no echo. But is there any other thing? And I say, are there any other issues that you would want to share with us? And Sana, what you train Abana, Eunice, Imano.
Yo, Eja, kakra ebe ka ede aso yen komo no so ene se Lands Commission ya fa yen tamapa efra na se say no ye mo how abeye how kese pa ene ne ekoso in the land market ni nyina ye ni abre say ye bring some sanity enunti na ama se say ye mpanyufo ani abre a o maso yansene say yenko
you know mama